Hi, perceptive readers. This is James Lynch. Welcome to Poeartistry number 97. Every human being has the option to change their mind, and it doesn't make them hypocritical when they do that. It often involves accurate knowledge, you see. Going through life learning, you find out what you knew back then. There's been some additional knowledge added to what you knew back then that has rounded you out, you see, to even see the bigger picture from a bird's eye view. Wouldn't you agree? We have many situations through our lives where that actually has materialized for all of us. Also, there's knowledge that we knew back then that wasn't even based on accurate knowledge. So when we find out, we make some type of adjustment. We may actually discount whatever was learned altogether because it was not, you see, accurate knowledge about a situation, a job, or even a person. And so when you change your mind, it does more than actually show wisdom, but it also shows your humanity, especially if you was viewing a situation or a person in an adverse way. Now, what I want to share with you further is, yes, sometimes you just have to experience a situation in order to understand it or get it. There are some people's personalities right now today that have actually been molded on such a level, and it truly was because of the situation, the association, the friend, whether it's one or many, that gave them an experience to appreciate a matter. And so I want to reference now, again, the older ones. Since this is Poeartistry Gold number 97, you see, you have people right now who are 97 years old and older and a little bit younger than that, so still in their 80s or what have you. And some of them can actually tell you stories or accounts in their life that was similar to what you may be going through right now. I would say even in your 20s, if you're in your 20s, even younger than that. Yes, you better believe it. Depending on what background and culture you live in, the places you live in, certainly as teenagers, there are some experiences that what is normal to one group of teenagers will literally make the hair rise up on the back of your neck in another cultural environment. And yet, this is what different people have lived in. That's what persons are living in today. And so when they face certain situations, the person from one environment that I told you where it would hit them in such a way where they would be like, whoo, oh, or whatever. Persons coming from this other environment would be like almost like a calmness of wisdom. Or maybe, okay, the word wisdom does apply, but I really want to emphasize more on their countenance of the way that they respond to it emotionally. See, they can actually respond to it in such a way that even if the situation is worth raising the hair on the back of your neck, through their own experience, they realize that, you know, the seriousness is still there, but the hair is just not going to raise up on the back of their necks. That's one of the things that you find out when some persons literally did have family members who were up in age, had that wisdom. That even though sometimes the way the parents, you see, the way it would work at times, you could actually have a parent that was already up in age, but that parent would still have somebody maybe to the side, somewhere else, or what have you, that was already, guess what, even almost twice their age as well. And so that influence of that experience with this individual, when the parent was really paying attention, soaking in the experiences of life as well from this other individual. So you got already two wise people, your parent, and then this other person who may be almost like an ancestor, so to speak, that's even wiser, and they working together, just from lemonade drinking, coffee drinking, and that much more, or what have you. Then when they came back, so to speak, or the parent came back and talked to the child, the experience was, in a sense, like osmosis, that much more going into the child. One of the things that, people who get up in age realize, even when they hear of that situation that can even make the hair rise up on the back of your neck, they realize that even though it may look like, where the buck stops right here with this person, with this situation, look at them. Yet the wise person would already see how many dominoes fell before it came to that person. How many dominoes fell before that person was just still really walking innocently across the street and it hit them. You see? So the situation is not as simple as maybe an action that a person did, the way a person even reacted. And that's why in wisdom, you still just literally have to concentrate on what can be resolved, like in a physical way, so to speak, in a physical way, like when crimes have been committed, and actually leave all the philosophizing, so to speak, aspect of discipline out of it. Mm-hmm. And what do I mean by that? See, there can be an overkill, again, of how bad people are treated even when they done something bad. An overkill of it. And the wisdom, the experience from observing or being able to be around persons who are now, up in age, that's what they learn. And see, and I can guarantee you, even today, some of you right now studying law, practicing law, or what have you, that are still in your younger age, you haven't even hit 30 yet, and then especially when you hit 30. But how many of you remember that I've said even sometimes, the way that humans are, really, sometimes you still are really trying to grasp the aspect of all that vast knowledge, high intelligence that you have, and still mold it in the way that the wisdom is supposed to use it, So you can be having a high IQ, may I say that, or what have you, and yet the maturity of the wisdom to go with all that knowledge and your abilities, the kaleidoscope of being able to even send people to the moon, in that way, it's still not the same way, or that you should really be using your mind to calculate on how to even deal with another human being when they have been emotionally hurt. You can actually have two people, one hurting the other, and yet the reality is both of them are reacting the way that they have is because the dominoes of life that came before them just rolled down and hit them and put them both in this same situation or mindset. And so it takes more than just the discipline or instruction at times of what is right, guess what? They end up needing to experience somebody that will give them another view, another feeling. And that's right. When I say feeling, I do mean emotional content with it. Not an emotional content to manipulate somebody into further exploitation or what have you, but literally the aspect of affection that even comes with love. And so sometimes it is. It takes an experience in this situation or that situation that helps people to grasp it. And it doesn't take a harsh experience either for people to grasp it. That's why I like to mention ones who are already up in age. Because when you just get to a certain age, I would say most people, the majority, they not gonna raise their voice, at nobody really. You see what I'm saying? They'll tell you, this or that, and depending on how you treat or even honor them, this is not worship. This is still how you treat or honor them. Then sometimes they often end up sharing that much more with you. But it is something that shouldn't be forced, and a lot of things just can't or won't be forced out of such an individual. In fact, to try to take things to such a limit, it could actually take them away from your life more than in a figurative, but in a literal way. And that will go to show again, really, the lack of appreciation for such knowledge that this person possesses or has. You see, that it really wasn't deserving in the first place for anyone who will go into mistreating a person on that level. You see, and especially after they have been informed about this situation or that situation. And this is one extra thing that I'm going to tell you as well. You always pursue what is good, but make no mistake about it. Trying to rectify a situation by still saying, I'm going to rob Peter to pay Paul is still not a good way of resolving the situation. No matter what the reason you're saying that you're doing it for, you see, it can be for someone in the family or someone who is in need or what have you. But the point is, when the dominoes were falling and things of that nature, okay, you mean your only solution to the problem would be to, again, go and take something from somebody else, and especially just to save face in a certain way. Each situation is of course worthy of really analyzing. What I am saying is, you don't want to resolve situations by saying you're still going to take from this person or that person in order to take care of your own family, especially when what? That person has themselves or their family as well. So is that really, in the sense, let me use that word, good in God's eyes to do? So, welcome again to Poeartistry Gold number 97, or shall I say, we're about to have a good day on Poeartistry Gold number 97. Really, we appreciate the wisdom gained throughout life. These persons were given an opportunity to grow in that way, and that's what we try to do with each other even today, giving each other the opportunity to grow and not be condemned, blackballed, or whatever for life, no matter what situation they may have been a part of. And I say again, and this may be just a strong opinion based off of experience, and I'm still going to say wisdom and spiritual wisdom, But I do realize still what a lot of individuals do in their growing up, in their 20s, and I would even say even later, but I'm not. But I do know at least around about that time period, is no reason in the world to keep on making such ones suffer for the rest of their life if they really, certainly, is getting the sense of how they're supposed to grow and learn, and not continuing to have the dominoes of exploitation hitting them left and right to still just keep them in a state like that of control. Take good care of yourself, perceptive reader. Have a good day.